Ruben.
Hello, Mr. Romsky. How are you, sir?
Good, sir.
Good,
And welcome to the September 2023 meeting of the Finance Committee. Thank you all. I hope you all had a nice summer. Getting back into the swing of things here in New York City. I guess first up is I first have to appoint our esteemed chairwoman, Lisa Gomez, as a member of the Finance Committee for today's meeting. Do I need to do anything else besides do that, Sarah? You tell me.
Nope, I will let everyone know who's here for the record. Mr. Romsky for board members, yourself as chair. We have Al Carney, a member of the committee, who's joining us remotely. And then Lisa Gomez, who you just appointed as a temporary member. So we do have a quorum for the Finance Committee for today's business.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And first up on the agenda is the adoption of the meeting minutes from the July 2023 meeting of Finance. Can I please get a motion to approve those meeting minutes?
So moved.
Thank you very much, Al. Second, thank you, Lisa. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. We have one offering up on the agenda. It's the Academy of, what is it, musical and dramatic
American Musical and Dramatic Arts Academy.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
Try to provide value.
Yes. Yes. And Alex will be presenting that. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone.
Morning.
The Finance Committee is being asked to recommend that the board authorize one or more series of tax-exempt and/or taxable fixed and/or variable rate bonds with a maturity not to exceed 30 years, an amount not to exceed 80 million, on behalf of AMDA Inc. for its New York State operating entity, the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. This authorization being sought today is a resolution to proceed, and staff will be coming back to the board in October for the adoption of the financing documents. This transaction is expected to close at the end of October. The Academy plans to issue bonds concurrently through two separate state issuers, DASNY and the California Municipal Finance Authority, to refinance existing debt and to fund new money projects. Proceeds from the DASNY bonds are expected to be used to refinance AMDA's Series 2015 and Series 2018 bonds issued by Build NYC, as well as a taxable bank loan issued in 2015. In addition to the refinancings, bond proceeds are expected to be used to fund various renovations and deferred maintenance projects at the New York facilities. In accordance with the DASNY financing guidelines, the proposed issuance will be privately placed with a qualified institutional buyer in the minimum denominations of 100,000. Given that AMDA is currently not rated by a national bond rating service, the bonds are expected to be privately placed with Preston Hollow Community Capital, a qualified institutional buyer. Preston Hollow Community Capital focuses on providing financing solutions to local governments, higher education institutions, and other not-for-profit entities for projects that are not easily financed through traditional lending channels. Their financing approach involves delivering measurable social impact by funding economic development projects in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and housing. The board may recall that Preston Hollow was also the purchaser of the DASNY Urban Health Plan Series 2021 bonds. This refinancing will help AMDA restructure its debt by replacing its short-term variable rate debt with longer-term fixed-rate bonds while extending the final maturity of its debt from 2053 from 2045 and 2048, subject to review by tax counsel. This transaction will also include a small new money component to fund various deferred maintenance projects, examples of which include upgrades to the elevator system, the HVAC system, carpeting, roofing, plumbing equipment, etc. AMDA currently has floating to fixed interest rate swaps associated with its variable rate debt. The swaps are expected to be terminated as a part of this refinancing, and based on the current fair market value of the swaps, AMDA expects to receive a payment upon termination. On March 21, 2023, AMDA entered into a forbearance agreement with its current debt holders due to a failure to maintain certain financial covenants and to deliver timely audited financial statements. This agreement expired on July 3rd, 2023. However, AMDA is currently in talks with its lenders to extend the agreement to the end of October 2023 to provide sufficient time to close the proposed refinancing. Security required by the purchaser is expected to include a pledge of gross revenues, mortgages on property acceptable to the purchaser, a debt service reserve fund, and financial covenants accepted to the purchaser. Looking at AMDA's operating results, the Academy has operating profits for each of the last 5 years, with margins averaging approximately 9.4 million. The Academy has total net assets of approximately 151 million, with approximately 42 million in unrestricted net assets. Operations were negatively impacted by COVID during the last 2 fiscal years, but the Academy has taken a number of steps to boost enrollment and to reduce their expenses. Net tuition and fees, together with housing revenues, comprise approximately 88% of the Academy's revenues in 2022. In 2023, AMDA entered into a 3-year lease with the New York City Health and Hospitals for the purpose of using its student housing facilities to house migrants. This was reviewed by Bond and Borrowers Council. The Academy students are currently being provided alternative housing arrangements at nearby facilities. AMDA has indicated that the New York City Health and Hospital lease is financially beneficial to the Academy. In summary, staff is requesting that the members approve a resolution to proceed in an amount not to exceed 80 million on behalf of AMDA Inc. The proposed issuance will allow the Academy to refinance its existing debt with long-term fixed-rate bonds and to finance new money projects through a private placement with Preston Hollow, a qualified institutional buyer. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Alex. Are there any questions or concerns from fellow committee members?
Alex, it's Al. First of all, how are you?
I am good, Hal. How are you? It's good
I'm
to
well,
see you.
thank you. The credit is one that has apparently demonstrated an inability in one instance to provide audited financial statements in a timely fashion. Are we concerned about that?
You know, this is a private placement with Preston Hollow, and they are aware of this issue, and they are okay, and will provide them with 2 years of back statements as a part of this financing, and they're aware of the issue, and they're okay with that.
And because it's a private placement, Alex, I'm not nearly as concerned about it as I would be otherwise. We know the institution with whom the bonds are being placed.
Yes, we do know that institution. That's Preston Hollow Community Capital. And as you may remember, Al, this was the purchaser for the Urban Health Plan Series 2021 bonds.
I don't remember that. I was actually I tried hard to recall it, but I couldn't. I'm not concerned about it. It's a private placement. I'm fine with it. I just wanted to make sure that we're okay. It's an unusual transaction given the history of the organization, but I'm happy if you're happy.
Thanks.
Well, Alex, I just have a couple of quick questions for you. First up is the question regarding the alternative facilities that have been apparently made available to the existing and future student base of the institution. There have been no issues at all with those new facilities, given that the existing dormitories have been leased out to the city through New York City Health and Hospitals?
Yeah, so AMDA has stated that there haven't been any negative pushback received from their student population, and those 2 other facilities are the New Yorker Hotel and the 47 West 13th Street facilities.
New Yorker Hotel, that used to be across from our prior One Penn Plaza. I stayed there a few times actually. Okay, well, thank you for that clarification. Next up was the opinion from Borrowers Council as well as our bond council relating to the underlying lease for the dormitories. That just confirmed or we will confirm at some point prior to the final approval that the authority given under the 501c4 status, that they were in their authority to execute those leases, given, I guess, the importance of the finances to this underlying transaction, correct?
That's correct, Jerry. That would be a condition of closing, so borrower's counsel would have to provide an opinion stating such that the lease with New York City Health and Hospitals does not affect the 501c3 status of AMDA.
Thank you, Alice. And just my final confirmation relates to the new money part of the transaction, the 3 million. And that 3 million, I think you confirmed it already, but I just want to reconfirm it. The anticipated use of that is for the upgrade of the existing dormitories that they own, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Pretty standard deferred maintenance stuff like upgrades to the elevator, the HVAC system, the roofing, carpeting, stuff like that to the existing building.
Well, thank you very much, Alex, for those confirmations. I don't have anything else. Wellington, anything?
I have
Anybody else?
nothing, Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, hearing none, can I please get a motion to approve this? Well, not to approve it, to recommend approval at the board meeting, which would be held in about 3.5 minutes from now. Thank you, Al.
Absolutely.
The objections, hearing none, that motion carries. Thank you very much. So unless anyone has any other questions or concerns for this committee, I'll look for a motion to adjourn so we can get into the full board meeting. Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you very much, Al, for the second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much. And that concludes our finance committee meeting for September.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Great.